If you've been on TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram recently, you've probably come across Ashton Hall. He's a former college running back turned fitness influencer who recently went viral for his 3:50 a.m. morning routine, rubbing a banana peel on his face, and his ability to fast forward time. Fast forward time? Is that right? Okay, so the timestamp of him jumping into his pool goes from 7:36 to 7:40 while he's in midair. That is so funny. So yeah, his ability to travel through time. His caption for this video goes, Day 191 of the morning routine that changed my life. 3:50 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Sin lives late at night. I feel like if you're going to bed at 4 a.m. or you're waking up at 4 a.m., it's still nighttime. Most of you have never had to hear this story, but when I first started streaming, I was actually waking up at 3:30 a.m. every day. I was working in an office job, and I had one of those jobs where the office was technically open 24 hours a day. No one really worked overnight, but if you wanted to scan your card, go up the elevator and work, you technically could. So I had developed this anxiety about having to talk to people for some reason. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I still don't like it, but I'm better about it now. So what I did was I started waking up at 3:30 in the morning to get to my office by 4. I would then sit there and try to get as much work done possible before people came in. And then I'd go home and stream from like noon to 3 p.m. My brain hated it because I didn't have a yard at the time in San Diego. And so I still had to be up super late to take toast out. My body hated it for the same reason. Eventually I ran out of like the energy and the motivation needed to be waking up at 3:30 a.m. So I had to start setting a ton of alarms just so I'd get up. And then eventually I stopped getting up and I zoned out for like a year. So I had a very interesting time waking up between 3 to 4 a.m. every day. But I think it would have been a lot different if I was actually sleeping and taking care of myself instead of just falling asleep at like 11 p.m. or midnight, waking up at 3:30 and then being up until 11 p.m. or midnight again. And then on the weekends, sleeping like 12 hours. Anyway, let's look at a healthy way to do it. Ashton wakes up every day at 3:50 a.m. By 3:53, he is brushing his teeth. And at 4 a.m., he steps outside in the morning dark to do his push-ups and show off his butt. Seriously, brother, what was that for? Who was that for? Was that for me? Thank you, Ashton Hall, for this shot of your Aston Hall, am I right? At 4:38 a.m., he closes his eyes for the first nap of the day. At 4:40 a.m., he wakes up to write in his journal. People have pointed out that he's on a very early page, but he's only on day 191 of doing this. We don't know if he's writing a daily page, poems, affirmations, or haikus. This man has more abs than I do people who love me. Let him be on page 6. This is the first part of the video that I actually find somewhat cringe. So we're gonna be serious about the Lord's business. I learned a long time ago that people like different things at different times. Waking up and not sleeping was one of the worst times of my life. But those morning hours where I could just listen to the Crime Junkies podcast at work or just sit and stare at a wall for a few hours and I knew 100% that no one was going to message me, that no one for any reason was going to interrupt this time that I had. I didn't have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I didn't have a ton of notifications coming from YouTube talking about my facial hair at the time. It was me and whatever I wanted in my headphones. And it was really freeing. The weird part here isn't really what he's listening to. It's that he has a stand for his phone in this situation. I do too. I have a Nintendo Switch stand that I put my phone on while I'm streaming or while I'm making videos. But if you're going to be in this room every day to stare at a screen, not just listen, why not just get like a medium-sized screen? That's very nitpicky of me. I understand that. I just know that if I had to open my phone during this to put some podcast on out loud, that I would first take 50 minutes to go through my daily dice stream rolls and then open my Pokemon TCG packs. An hour later, he does his daily ice water plunge and you now have enough information to understand this meme. I don't know exactly what's up with the Saratoga branded water. I don't know why he chose that specifically, but I do know that he does have a restocking clip in another video. There's also a lot of people bringing up this clip on Twitter where he drops a different branded water bottle, but already has the camera set up to catch it. But this is a bit he does, and there are plenty other videos like it. He seems to be okay not taking himself too seriously despite what most of the video looks like. He's just a dude. doing something he enjoys, and is probably making more money than Peter Griffin the time he won the lottery.
Yes, we won a lottery!
Stop, okay? I'm not doing a Family Guy cutaway. At 6:38 a.m., Ashton starts running towards the sunlight, and at 6:52 a.m., he realizes he's on a treadmill and not getting anywhere, so he has to stop, and then he decides to swim towards it instead. At 7:36, he takes a dive into the water, and at 7:40, he finally lands in it, which I, again, think is really, really funny. The rest of his day is spent getting ready for when the world around him decides to wake up. He showers, eats a banana, rubs a peel on his face. Not my favorite thing, but his skin is glowing. And mine looks like the bacteria on my skin had bad credit and couldn't get a loan for a better place to call home. So who am I to say anything? At 9:05, we have another ice water face plunge. And at 9:15, he has a work meeting.
So looking at it, bro, we gotta go ahead and get in at least 10,000.
We gotta get in at least 10,000. Whether that's supplements he's selling or 10,000 dice rolls on dice streams. Yeah, I'm addicted to this game. It's not even that good. This is not an ad. It's just like a shot of dopamine twice a day. I'm on Kingdom like 112. It's taken me 9 months to get here. I wake up, open the app, go through my dice rolls, finish work, go through my dice rolls, get into bed, go through my dice rolls. And I told myself I was going to delete the app at Kingdom 100, and then I just didn't. It's just part of my daily routine now. 3 times a day, like walking toast or thinking about all the terrible things I've done in my life. If you one day never see me again, I have become one of the little peon people in the game, and it will be up to you to save me. Again, this is not an ad. This is just my everyday life. At 9:26 a.m., he is handed food and another Saratoga branded water, and his thank you is our goodbye. He is ready to start the day. I don't know much more about Ashton. In going through other videos on his page, he seems like a normal dude. There's someone out there saying that this is mostly marketing and that he looks a lot more successful than he is. But isn't he supposed to? Don't most influencers make their lives seem much bigger and better than they are? If he fakes his lifestyle so hard that he amasses over 10 million followers and it becomes a reality, then who am I to say anything? He has another video where he talks about how he wished he had realized he didn't need to go to college or the NFL to be successful, and then he clarifies that the message is for his online coaches like he is. The video before this is him talking about how most successful online coaches don't always look the best or know the most, they're just better marketers than the rest. He is, at the very least, transparent with who he is and what he does. He's not pushing you to vote for the interests of people for the sake of money. He's not telling you to hate women. He's not saying you're any better than the people around you for any reason. He's telling you who he is, what he does, and how to replicate if you want to try. Do you have his level of charisma? Probably not. His physique, football background, editing team? Probably not. But you're probably just as corny as he is. And that's not the worst place to start. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for spending time with me. This is my favorite thing to do, and you're my favorite people to do it with. It's been a while since I've done just like a video on somebody from TikTok. And that's kind of what I meant to do when I started this channel. And going through my recent videos, I realized that I hadn't. So this was nice to be able to sit here, watch a couple of videos, write, and then get to make the video rather than look for something to be mad at, which I realized that I've been doing a lot recently. And that's not really what I meant to do. So I'm going to end it there. And then maybe we'll talk about the woman who keeps making me do kegels on TikTok. Toast is sleeping, but if you'd like to say goodbye to her, this is probably a good time. I don't feel sick anymore, which means I finally got to episode 2 of I Love a Mama's Boy on Patreon. And I'll probably do 90 Day Fiancé either today or tomorrow. But yeah, that'll be it for me. Y'all have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Don't lose your chapstick. I'm down to 1. I had 4. I'm down to 1.